What's going on, everybody? The gifting event is over and done with. The rewards are in. And there's a few different things that I'd like to discuss about this year's gifting event, including a topic that I normally avoid like the plague, which is cheating. Honestly, I find cheating to be an extremely boring topic, just drama-filled, bunch of nothing. No one ever gets anywhere with it. Because, wow, big surprise. Players cheat. Players cheated this year, just like players cheated last year, just like players will cheat next year, just like players will cheat in every single game that you ever play going forward. In the future, every single game ever created, just like players will cheat in real life if they feel like they can get away with it, if they feel like they can not get caught, not get punished. There are certain people that lack the ability to care about anyone but themselves, and if they can cheat, they will cheat. So there's not much to really talk about. That said, I am going to talk about it later on in this video, because if I don't talk about it, it's just going to come up over and over and over again during live streams. And if I get out my thoughts here, then I could just tell those people, hey, if you want to hear my thoughts, refer to the video. It's not interesting to talk about, so I'm done talking about it during live streams. But anyway, we're going to circle back to the cheating stuff in just a moment here. First, I want to talk about where Loki placed as an alliance, where I placed individually, and then also look at a tiny little bit of data that we can pull from the game that shows just how active the current player base for Marvel Contest of Champions is, because I was blown away, honestly, man. I knew this game was thriving, but I didn't realize it was doing that well. So yeah, let's start out with where Loki placed this alliance. So we actually got the top rank rewards here. We never do that. We got rank 9 overall. Normally, we always place in the top 5%. We never try to push for anything higher than that. There's no minimum amount that anyone has to gift. Some of the alliance members did not even hit all of the milestones, just to really show how little we care about this event and treat it just as a bonus event, a participate if you want to. And honestly, when you take it from a more casual approach like that, the gifting event is one of the best events throughout the year. You can gift items that have a unit value to them and then get bonuses through the milestones and secondary bonuses through the ranked rewards as well. So it's awesome. But we did actually get in the top 10 this year, which means every alliance member is now getting a 5-star Kang. Now, Kang, he's just a trophy champion, so it's really not that big of a deal. His stats, pretty unremarkable here. If you look at his ability page, there's like nothing here. It's totally empty compared to the average champion these days. There's no passives. There's no other description other than what his special 1, 2, and 3 does. Or oddly enough, on this page, it shows special 1, special 3, special 2. Very weird. But anyway, yeah, that's all it shows. And then he does have this one cool thing that he just got through a synergy with Apocalypse, where every 4 seconds, Kang gains an indefinite Fury buff, granting 20% attack rating. And this ends when reaching 20 stacks of Fury. So if you're in a fight for over 80 seconds, you end up with plus 400% attack, which means his normal base attack of 2,300 goes up to about 11,500. So he still, even at that point, is not going to compare to the strongest champs in the game. He's gonna get outclassed pretty hard by them. But I feel like that could be something fun to play with eventually. And I even have some rank up gems that I could give one to Kang eventually. Unfortunately, the tier 2 alpha situation going on in the game right now prevents me from really ranking up more 5-star champions, because I'm going to run the risk of letting tier 5 basic expire. Kabam really needs to straighten that out, man. But eventually, when I can get Kang up to rank 4, I can just slide him one of these 4 to 5 tech rank up gems and then test it out, and that'll be pretty cool. But massive shout out to the people that carried in that event, in the gifting event, because yeah, everyone participated, of course, but we would not have ranked as high as we did if it were not for these 4 individuals at the top of the leaderboard who went above and beyond what everyone else did. So yeah, massive shout out to these guys. I'm not going to show everyone's individual rank, so I rather go through these solo events to show what I personally contributed towards it, which was not much, to be honest. I got the milestones. I wasn't last place in the alliance, but I wasn't too far from it. Like I said, some people did not even get all the milestones, but I went for all of the individual milestones. I didn't even, honestly, I thought about stopping after the 13th one. I feel like the 13th one is the sweet spot where you're getting like pretty good rewards all throughout it. And then the difference between 13 and 14 is kind of large in terms of what you need to trade to get it for only 1,000 6-star shards. But I ended up saying like, I think I need the revives for the Abyss anyway, so let me just get it. But what I want to point out in the solo events here, what I want to call out first at least, is where I personally placed in the ranked rewards. Now, I believe in past years, in every single past year, I believe hitting all the milestones has gotten me the top 5%. And from memory, in past years, players sent me screenshots where they did not even get all the milestones and they still placed in the top 5%. So I was pretty surprised to see that not only did I not get top 5%, I did not get top 10%. I ended up placing in the 11 to 25% bracket. And if I knew that I needed to trade more items to rank higher, I would not have traded more items. I would have stopped exactly where I did. So I'm totally fine with this. But it was something that was so surprising to me that I even questioned, like, if this was accurate, if there was some sort of error in the rankings. The difference in rewards, like I said, it's not a big deal. It's like half of the side quest for the month amount of rewards or something like that. Maybe a tiny bit more. I don't know. But it doesn't show individual rankings. If you look at the leaderboard here, it only shows the bracket that I ended up in. And then my score that my head is kind of covering up, which is 36,250. But if we go to the overflow section of the rewards, we can see the exact rank that I got, which was 121,657. And this is the number that really blew me away and shows just how active the player base is. Like I said, I reached out to Kabam because I was wondering if this was an error. I could not believe that there were over 120,000 players that got all of the milestones in this event. It takes roughly 4,000 units, technically a little bit under 4,000 units to get all the milestones. And to veteran players of the game, 4,000 units, yeah, that's not that big of a deal. But players who are progressing and trying to, reach for that next title and stuff like that, that's a lot of units, man. That's a lot of units. So, compared to maybe something like the arena where, nowhere near that number of players are hitting all the milestones in the arenas and stuff like that, even though it's not that hard to achieve. Even though it's not a direct comparison. Anyway, the point is this number just kind of blew me away. And I reached out to Kabam about it. Their response was basically the same response that everyone got, which was just pointing towards this forum post that they made. And this forum post was largely talking about the top ranks, like the very suspect accounts at the top ranks of the leaderboards, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, there wasn't really anything in here in particular that called out the ranks that I was just showing. They did say the leaderboards were vetted throughout the week before the events were paid out, and to the best of our abilities, we have weeded out and punished any players that did not play this event legitimately. While there are some things we're still looking into, none of those would affect the leaderboards. So, yeah, man, I guess these numbers are accurate, man. So. Crazy. And of course, there were many other hundreds of thousands of players that did not get all the milestones, which is to be expected. But I would have thought maybe like 30 or 40,000 players would get all the milestones or something like that. And that's it. So yeah, like I said, very blown away by the amount of participation. So anyone who ever says this game is dying or anything like that, no, this game is thriving. I feel like more so than ever. But anyway, let's get on with the cheating talk. Like I mentioned earlier, the topic of cheating is one that I usually avoid like the plague, especially when it comes to something like the gifting event here. It's one thing if you're looking at Alliance War and you're noticing someone going through multiple linked fights unscathed, and you're like, this doesn't look legit. This person might be modding. Let me report this to Kabam. Hey, guess what? You probably had some real impact on the game. But when it comes to something like the gifting event, we're talking about reporting on credit card fraud. How the hell am I or any player supposed to detect something like this? We can't. This is solely up to the responsibility of Kabam. Did they do a good job at it? I mean, I don't know. How am I supposed to know that either, right? So I feel like this topic is a giant waste of time, giant waste of energy. And the only reason I'm talking about it in this video is so that I don't have to keep talking about it 5 times a night for the next week as it comes up every 10 or 15 minutes during the live streams. And I can just refer those people back to this video without ignoring them. So let's get into it. I'm going to approach this topic from a few different angles. One of them is going to be the official post by Kabam here that was made a few hours after the leaderboards went live. They posted this when players started questioning the especially two very suspicious accounts in the top 30, which we'll get to as well. And I don't want to just take Kabam's word on it, though. We're going to dig through this a little bit, but we're not going to read it word for word. I also want to approach this from a would-be cheater angle and figure out, like, what even needs to take place to cheat your way into the top 30? How realistic is it? Do I think players can actually get away with cheating in the top 30, or do I think Kabam would pick up on something like that? We'll talk about that, and I mostly do want to keep this to the top 30 for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's hard enough to speculate on anything when it comes to this event, but if we could narrow it down to the top 30, at least stand like a little bit of a fighting chance at coming up with a little bit of more accurate speculations. And also, the top 30, they had the biggest things to lose by getting cheated out of it, if they did get cheated out of it. We've got a 6-star generic awakening gem, a 6-star 2-3 rank up gem, the tier 5 class catalyst selector. These are some big prizes to miss out on, which sucks, man. And we know, there's some pretty well-known people in the community that did just miss out on it. The biggest one probably being Pep, who was only 3 spots away, coming in at rank 33. Pep, of course, being well known for supporting a lot of us MCOC YouTubers, and also having his own method of opening up crystals that a lot of players swear by, the Pep method. Besides Pep, there's some other well-known names in here. Even a member of For Loki with Enzo coming in at rank 40. So either way, whether the players did not make it because they got outspent or they did get cheated out of it, either way it sucks. Of course, it sucks even more if they did get cheated out of it. But yeah, man, let's think about what it even takes to get top 30. So Pep, from what I hear, spent about 250,000 units total in the event. So top 30, we could maybe speculate is a little bit higher than that. Maybe not quite 300,000 units, but maybe let's just say 300,000 units to keep things nice and simple. Do I think it's possible to get 300,000 units without spending? No. Let's start there. So basically, big news flash to everybody. This event, the top ranks are for the big spenders. This is an event where Kabam makes a lot of money in a short amount of time. So yeah, you basically had to spend a lot of money or cheat. That's your two options. There's no like legit way outside of spending money. It's spend money or cheat. And the 3 methods of cheating that I could think of, one is fraud. So we're talking about like stolen credit card info or stolen gift card type of things. Number 2 is botting. Basically just running the arena 24/7 even as you sleep kind of thing. And then the third would be through hacking. And I'm throwing hacking in there. I mean, it's kind of a joke. We can immediately dismiss this one, but I have seen other people bring up hacking. So, I mean, it's worth including in the list, I guess. Hacking essentially would be, giving yourself unlimited units on your account somehow without spending, or being able to mail crystals without having to actually pay the unit cost to mail them or something like that. But I mean, come on, that's a joke. Anyone who's burning through that number of units without any sort of paper trail, like, come on, that's immediately red flag. That account is done for instantly. I don't even know if anyone even tried that, but if they did, like, no, their account is done. So let's talk about botting next. Now, we can go through each and every single one of these accounts, and I did not do that, but I suspect that if we did go through each and every one of these accounts, you would not find a high number of PvP wins. The only 2 that I actually looked at were the 2 very questionable ones, the rank 3 account and the rank 12 account. And one of them had literally 0 PvP fights won, and the other had less than 1,000. So those 2 accounts definitely didn't bot. And even just looking at the top 30, though, to bot 300,000 units worth, like, dude, that bot, like, I don't even know if that's possible to do running an account 24/7 in a year's time. Like you might be able to get it in 1 year's time, but if so, then just barely. The total number of units that I estimate that I've earned over the 5 years of playing this game is in the 350 to 400,000 range. And that's, I'm not playing the game 24/7, but I am playing a little bit more efficiently than a bot would by, getting the milestones week in, week out type of thing. Whereas a bot would pick up the milestones and then they would only be getting units through battle chips. So, I mean, botting is a very real thing. And I do think that some players got away with botting, but it's usually not on one account. Usually botters will have many accounts that they're doing this on. Kabam, by the way, they did say something about botters in here. They said before the event began, we found and punished a number of botters. So, I mean, that's always nice to hear. Hopefully they continue to crack down on the botters, but realistically, I don't think you're ever going to stop all of them. Their detection hopefully will get better and better as time goes on. And the players who think that they have an undetectable bot, hopefully they get banned soon as well. But realistically, some people did get away with botting, but I don't think it's possible in the top 30 is what I'm getting at. So that leaves fraud. And we're talking about like over $10,000 worth of fraud in an individual account. This is another one of those situations where I would think, like, if I was going to be stealing credit card info or something like that, I mean, I don't know if I would be trying to funnel that through one account, because I feel like that's a big red flag. Kabam, they can't check every single account in the entirety of the battle realm here, but I feel like they absolutely can check all of the top 30 accounts at least. So yeah, if someone's spending a brand new car's worth of stolen money on an account, big red flag. And I mean, I don't know, why would you risk getting caught with something like that? I feel like that'd be a pretty silly thing to do, but it's possible. Maybe it's possible that is what's going on. The two accounts, the two very questionable accounts, again, the rank 3 and the rank 12 account. Kabam, what they have, their official statement on it is that they did check these accounts. They said here that leaderboards were vetted throughout the week before the events were paid out and all that. And they basically said that side accounts have been used for a very long time, supplying main accounts with greater gifting crystals and other resources. So again, man, I don't want to just take Kabam's word on it. I feel like that is pretty plausible, though. There's a lot of players that do things like that, ranging from free-to-play players to big spenders. And of course, ideally, you're trading in this event, but that's not. It doesn't have to work that way. You could just do a one-way gift, and if you just wanted to buy greater gifting crystals, well, you have to have a secondary account to gift them to yourself, or you have to find someone to trade. So, is it possible that they were using this to trade for themselves? Sure, yeah, I think it's possible. Do I know for a fact that was what's going on and that none of the 30 players in here cheated? No, I don't know that. So yeah, it's certainly possible that people cheated, but I also think that there's, I feel like it's got to be pretty tough to cheat your way through fraud. I feel like fraud is the only method that you could use to get to the top 30. I feel like it'd be pretty difficult to do that without getting detected. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being naive with stuff like this. I don't know. But I feel like it's probably more likely that, yeah, the top 30, they're probably legit, man. And yeah, man, I wish I could double and triple and quadruple check whatever Kabam's checking. Just because, like I said, it really sucks to see someone like Pep just barely miss out. Such a cool dude. I would have loved to see him get the top 30 spot, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a pretty high chance that all 30 of these accounts were legit. And I'm not just taking Kabam's word for it. I'm just trying to put myself through all the paces here of like what actually goes down, because I have zero allegiance to Kabam. They have never paid me a single dollar for any reason whatsoever. And I know some people are going to be thinking like, oh, well, that's not true, dude. Aren't you in the content creator program? The CCP. Don't you make ad revenue off CCP videos? And I don't know, no, that's fair. That's a fair point. You do get ad revenue on CCP videos if you make the video. I don't really make CCP videos. I've made like 3 or 4 in the past 2 years. It's honestly a miracle that my channel still exists. The only reason it exists is because of the generosity of the community, from people like Pep. So if there was going to be an allegiance to anyone in this situation, it would be to the people that potentially missed out due to cheating. But I, first and foremost, just try to say what I honestly feel, always, regardless of the situation. That's what's going on here. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys that I think that there is a decent chance that no one in the top 30 cheated. I think that there is a guaranteed chance that there are cheaters out there in the event that flew under the radar. But I feel like there's so much of a spotlight on the top 30 that it was probably difficult for anyone to cheat for something like that in this event. Whoops, phone's turning off. Not to mention, no one has ever gotten kicked out of the CCP for speaking out against something that Kabam has done. It's never happened. It's never happened. Why would anyone be afraid of it? People are able to speak your mind in the content creator program. There's no fear of getting removed from it. So again, I'm just saying what I honestly feel. If you disagree, fine. I don't really care. I'm not going to continue the conversation. This is a one-sided conversation. Normally, love discussing things during live streams, but here, it's all pure speculation. So, take it or leave it. Feel free to leave a comment, but I'm not going to reply to it. So, say whatever you want. I don't care. And yeah, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all for watching. Once again, really sucks that some of these awesome people did miss out on the top 30. I hope that there was no actual cheating, and I hope it was all through legitimate methods. That's all I could really say on it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.